Hi, I'm David Ezzy. We're in Haiku at my sail loft, and we're going to go through the rigging of the 2013 Ezzy Tiger. When you unroll your sail, don't let it crease. So keep it low to the ground and no creasing. Sunlight and creasing break down the sailcloth. So anytime that you see little creases in the film, that's damage, and usually that comes in from rigging. So if you're careful about letting your sail flap, you won't get those creases and your sail will last a lot longer. The Ezzy Tiger is set up with a calibrated downhaul gauge at the tack of the sail. This is something new for 2013. We rig the sail in the factory with a load cell. That's an accurate tension measuring device. When we get to the correct tension, we put a gauge at the bottom of the sail that, when you're correctly downhauled, will line up with the bottom of your mast. In order for that gauge to be accurate, you have to be using the correct Ezzy mast combination, plus your Ezzy mast combination needs to be the correct length. And most of our masts are within 1 or 2 millimeters. However, it's a good idea to check your mast to make sure that it's the correct length. And in the rigging guide, the lengths are specified on the first page. So basically, it's the length of the mast. So this is a 400 mast going in the 5.0, and then the head plug about 5 millimeters. So it's 400.5 centimeters. Your mast needs to be within 2 millimeters of that in order for the downhaul gauge to be accurate. The Ezzy Tiger can be rigged without the downhaul gauge if you're not using the correct Ezzy mast. And it has leech marks, like we've done in the past, between battens number 2 and 3. Okay, so we're going to slide our mast in first. I like to start with the mast in 2 pieces. Slide the mast to the back of the boom cutout. Join the mast. Then one knee down, one knee up, push the tack of the sail against the knee that's up and slide the mast in. You can also rotate the mast and make sure it goes right into the head cap. It's a good idea to walk up and check and make sure that it is in the head cap. Base extension, we can look at the bottom of the sail and it'll tell us how much extension to use. Now note that this extension amount corresponds to the correct Ezzy mast. So on the 5.0, it's a 400 bottom, 400 top, and it's going to be 18 centimeters of extension. If you use this on a different length mast, of course that 18 centimeters would not be correct. I'll set my base to 18. For threading the pulley, it's important to get this right, because if you don't thread the pulley correctly, of course you can still downhaul your sail, but you can twist the pulley, which twists the tack, and it actually changes the profile on the bottom of the sail. So I'm going to go through it here. First, you go under the pulley that's closest to the mast. You see the difference? This is under, this would be over. So under the pulley that's closest to the mast. Then you're going to go under the top pulley, okay, under. This would be over, this way's under. Then you're going to go over the far pulley. So you're going to leave the middle pulley and go to the far pulley and go over. Then the remaining pulley on your extension, you go over. And the rope comes up through the middle and under the pulley that's on the sail. For downhauling, I like to use the cup. Take the rope, make a cross, loop it over itself, and then slide the cup through. This is also on the website. Downhaul. Now when we're downhauling, if we're using the correct Ezzy mast, using the downhaul gauge, you're going to downhaul until the bottom of your mast lines up with the mark on the downhaul gauge. I suggest setting it to the medium mark for most wind conditions. For light wind, of course, you'll want to back it off. If you're using the downhaul gauges on the upper leech between battens number 2 and 3, the maximum downhaul is the red. Those are the marks furthest in from the leech. That's the loosest leech you'd get. And for medium wind, you'd go to the black marks. Those marks are in the middle, and that would be for just average wind. And for really light wind, when you want to get the most power out of the sail, go to the rearward marks, which are the gray marks. It's also a good idea to kind of wiggle the sail when it's on the ground so that you can see the looseness. If you're using a non-Ezzy mast, you can set it up to use the calibration gauge, and what you do is rig it with the marks on the upper leech, sail it, figure out where you need to be for medium wind, and then have it rigged correctly for medium wind. Then just take the gauge and move it so that it lines up with the bottom of your mast. So next time you rig, all you have to look at is the gauge. After you've set the downhaul, it's time to set the outhaul. There's 3 cords that are sewn at the clew of the sail. The longest cord is red, and that corresponds to your high wind setting. That's maximum outhaul, maximum positive outhaul. The middle cord is black for medium wind, and the short cord is gray, and that means in light wind you would outhaul the least. So to use the cords, set your boom against your hip without pulling on the clew. Just gently pull the cord out and set your boom to the end of the cord. Then outhaul to the end of the boom. Now, the first time you're rigging in the day, I like to outhaul once to the end and just double check that my cord is correct. And in this case it is. To tune the battens, get the key, and it's stored in the pad. Start with the foot batten. You can back the tension off until you see small wrinkles in the X-film on either side of the pocket. I'm not talking about the wrinkles that are on the pocket in the luff area. That's normal that there'll be wrinkles on the pocket. You tension the batten until the wrinkles in the X-film just disappear. No more than that. If you over tighten the batten, the sail will have difficulty flipping. Plus you could potentially damage the end of the pockets. The same for the batten above the boom. Tension it just until the wrinkles disappear. For 3 batten, tension it just until I see these wrinkles disappear. Same for the number 2. And for the head batten, it's hard to see the tension, so what I like to do is over tighten it until the batten is popping back and forth, and then just back the tension off so it's not popping. For de-rigging, start at the clew, undo the outhaul completely. Next, take the tack strap off completely. You're going to use the tack strap to hold the sail when it's rolled. Take your boom off. Now for sliding your mast out, just spin it. See, I have the sail on the ground, I'm not wrinkling it. And I'm just spinning it, I'm not even really touching the sail, and then I can feel the mast coming loose. Keep spinning it. When you roll your sail, keep it low to the ground so it doesn't blow. Tuck the head quite tightly, then relax it as soon as you get to the tri-light, and then roll it parallel to the battens. If you get to a batten and you're not parallel, just pull the core out to make it parallel. After rolling, put your hand inside the sail, the other hand grab the tack, and spin the core just to make the roll a little tighter. Then you want to tuck the tack pad and then wrap the tack strap around the pad and back onto the Velcro. When you put it into your bag, put it the sleeve end first. That way, if you store your sail vertically, you won't damage your sail. If you store your sail vertically on the clew, you'll crinkle the X-film and eventually it could cause it to break.